All right, hello and welcome. It is January 3rd, 2026, and we have got a ton to cover today, with some major stories breaking all around the world.
So here's what's on the docket. We'll kick things off with some quick-hit global headlines. Then we're going to take a deep dive into a really controversial peace plan for Ukraine and a huge leadership shakeup in Kyiv. From there, it's over to New York City, where the new mayor is making waves on day one. And we'll wrap up with a wild new idea that could literally rewrite the future of physics. Let's jump right in.
Okay, first up, a quick look at what's going on around the planet with our global headlines.
Over in southern Yemen, things are heating up. We're seeing intense fighting erupt in the Hadramaut region. The Southern Transitional Council is pointing the finger at Saudi Arabia, accusing them of launching strikes against their forces. This is just pouring fuel on the fire of an already incredibly complex conflict.
Just a really tragic story coming out of Switzerland. A fire on New Year's Eve at a ski resort in Crans, Montana has killed around 40 people, with over 100 more injured. Right now, officials think the cause was something as simple as sparklers being lit too close to the ceiling. Just awful.
Now for a big shakeup in the car world. Tesla has finally been knocked off its perch. After a really long run, it is no longer the world's top seller of electric vehicles. That title now goes to the Chinese automaker BYD.
And finally, let's turn to Sudan. The army there has reportedly launched a series of airstrikes on the city of Nyala. Now, Nyala is a major stronghold for the paramilitary group known as the RSF, and this move, well, it signals a whole new level of intensity in that country's devastating conflict.
Okay, so with those headlines covered, let's get into our first deep dive. We're turning our attention to Ukraine, because there are two massive stories unfolding at the exact same time. A leaked peace plan is making waves, just as a huge government shakeup is going down.
So, the bombshell here is this leaked 28-point peace plan. Word is, it was negotiated directly between the US and Russia. We're still trying to nail down exactly where it came from, but you can bet the proposal is causing an absolute firestorm. It's so serious that it's already triggered an emergency meeting between American, Ukrainian, and European officials.
And this is where it gets really interesting. When you put the reported U.S. plan side by side with a European counterproposal that popped up almost immediately, the differences are just stark. The U.S. version, for example, says Ukraine would have to give up the rest of Donetsk, making it a demilitarized zone under Russian control. It also puts a cap on Ukraine's military at 600,000 soldiers. But then you look at the European plan, totally different. No territorial giveaways. It says negotiations should start from where the front lines are right now, and it allows for a bigger peacetime military of 800,000 troops. So what does this all mean? Well, analysts are pumping the brakes a bit, cautioning everyone that this leak is not a done deal. Far from it. Think of it as the messy, complicated opening shot of a negotiation. The Center for Strategic and International Studies said it perfectly. This document isn't an agreement, but it might be the starting point to get to one. Keyword there is might.
And get this, while all of this is swirling around, President Zelenskyy drops his own bombshell. He's announced a major reshuffle of his top leadership team. The official line is that this is all about sharpening the country's focus on security, defense, and diplomacy.
And the changes are huge. The biggest move? General Kyrylo Budanov, you know him, the very popular and very high-profile head of military intelligence. He's now the president's chief of staff. That is a massive deal. It puts a career spy, essentially, right at the heart of the political machine. At the same time, Mykhailo Fedorov, the tech genius behind Ukraine's amazing drone program, is being put forward for Minister of Defense, and Ole Ivashenko is stepping in to lead military intelligence. A whole new team.
All right, let's switch gears. We're leaving the international stage and heading to the U.S., specifically New York City, because there's a new mayor in town, and he is not wasting any time making some very big, very loud waves.
Literally on his first day in office, New York City's new mayor, Zohran Mamdani, signed an executive order that basically wiped the slate clean. It revoked all the orders put in place by his predecessor, Eric Adams, after Adams' indictment in 2024. And just like that, several really contentious policies on free speech and foreign policy were gone.
So what exactly did he get rid of? Well, three big ones. First, a ban that stops city agencies from boycotting or divesting from Israel. Second, a rule that prohibited protests outside places of worship. And third, the city's adoption of the IHRA's definition of anti-Semitism. Now that last one is pretty controversial. Critics, like civil liberties groups, say that its definition is so broad it can be used to shut down legitimate criticism of the Israeli government by just labeling it anti-Semitic.
As you can imagine,
The reaction was instant and just completely polarized. On one side, you have the New York Civil Liberties Union, who loved the move. They said the old orders were basically designed to have a chilling effect on free speech. But on the other side, Israel's foreign ministry came out swinging, calling the decision anti-Semitic gasoline on an open fire. You really can't get more divided than that.
And what does Mayor Mamdani have to say about all this? Well, he made his stance perfectly clear in his inaugural speech. He said, and I'm quoting here, "I was elected as a democratic socialist, and I will govern as a democratic socialist. I will not abandon my principles for fear of being deemed radical." So yeah, he's not backing down. And for our final story today, we are taking a massive leap from the world of politics all the way to the frontiers of physics. We're talking about a new proposal that could, and this is no exaggeration, unlock one of the deepest secrets of the entire universe.
So, a team of theoretical physicists has come up with this incredibly bold new experiment. And what's the goal? It's to find the first real, tangible proof that gravity actually behaves like a quantum force. You see, this is the one missing piece of the puzzle that physicists have been searching for decades. It's the key to finally connecting Einstein's theory of gravity with the super weird rules of quantum mechanics.
The hero of this whole story is a tiny hypothetical particle called the graviton. Think of it like this. You know how a photon is the little particle that carries light and electromagnetism? Well, scientists believe the graviton does the same thing for gravity. It's the particle that makes gravity work. The problem is, no one's ever seen one. So finding it? Yeah, that would be absolutely monumental.
So how on earth would you even try to find something like that? The proposed experiment sounds like something out of science fiction. The basic idea is you fire a super powerful laser beam so that it intersects with a gravitational wave, one of those ripples in space-time. The theory is that when they cross, they'll exchange just one single packet of energy, one graviton. That tiny exchange would cause the laser's light to shift its frequency by a microscopic amount. An amount so small you'd need a super advanced kilometer-long detector to even have a chance of seeing it.
Before you get too excited, don't expect to see headlines about this tomorrow. The lead researcher on this, Professor Ralph Schutzhold, is very clear about the timeline. He basically says, hey, it can take decades to go from a cool idea on paper to an actual working experiment. So we're playing the long game here. But it does leave us with this incredible, mind-bending question to think about. If we can finally detect gravitons, what happens next? What does that tell us about black holes, about the Big Bang, about the very fabric of reality itself? Just think about it. What other secrets of the universe might we finally be able to unlock?